What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, the Goof. Let me just turn this mic down just a wee bit here. How are you all doing? It is I, the Goof, and I am here to talk shit. Um, so let me start by saying this is usually E3 time. Usually this is when we have E3, but E3 is basically dead. There is no E3, but we are that time of the year, and it's basically where it there used to be a physical place you would go to. There used to be a place where everyone would excuse me, everyone could gather and get hands on with things and everything, and we don't have that anymore. Instead, we have, well, and Nintendo started this. I hate that the industry just wants to copy Nintendo. Because let's be fair, that's what the industry has always done. You cannot deny it. You can try and deny it, but there's no denying it. And the fact of the matter is, whatever Nintendo does gets copycatted. You know it, I know it, the Lord knows it. Everybody knows it. So Nintendo started with Nintendo Directs. They were like, we're done with E3. We're barely going to have anything there anymore. At first, they barely were there, or they'd be on the show floor, but they wouldn't have a stage presence or anything like that. They just dialed things back quite a bit. Um, but Nintendo started this by just going to YouTube because they knew what mattered was, they could just control it a bit more in a controlled environment, and they could just do that with YouTube by just uploading. And here's the fun part: if anything ever happens to YouTube, what are they going to do then? Nintendo are the kings of left. I think it's called out of left field. They're the kings of left field. They're the kings of you don't know what they're going to do, and they're also the kings of going their own way. They do things that they want to do, and they do what benefits them. But here's the fun thing. Here's the fun part. Everybody copycats them. So now we don't really have E3 partly, not just the pandemic, but also just Nintendo being a presence that left and everybody left. Once everybody just kind of checked out and said we're done with E3, we're all just going to do what Nintendo does. So now we have State of Play. We have whatever Xbox's thing is called, but it all started with Nintendo Directs. We haven't gotten to the Nintendo Direct yet. I will probably react to that on stream. But when it comes to everything else, I decided that I would just wait, look at it all, and then just give my thoughts. So far out of all of them, I'm this is going to be really funny because I'm not really a big fan of them, but Xbox has done the best so far. Their presentation is the best. They had things to show, they had some things to be excited about. It was a great presentation. Um wasn't amazing, but it was pretty darn good. I didn't care for Sony's. Didn't care for God. I didn't care for Summer Game Fest. Um, Jeff Keighley, you really got to figure this stuff out because people come to this stuff for the games, and when all you have is indie, and it wasn't even good indie. Like the majority of what you showed, yeah, sure, I love indie, but it wasn't the good indie. It was the artsy fartsy school artist, God, what do you call it? College, like they used to have kids out of college would do experimental films. Now it's like kids out of college doing experimental indie games, and they're terrible. They're fucking terrible. They don't look exciting. They look like they're just trying to make you feel something or deliver a fucking message or shit like that. Nobody gives a fuck. The majority of what I saw at Summer Game Fest was garbage. It was boring. The only thing that got me, I would have to argue, turning this down again. I would have to argue the only thing that got me was the Power Rangers game, the beat 'em up, and what Blumhouse, uh, showcased. Well, what little bit we saw, we don't really know. I think there was one other thing that I liked, but the majority of it, I just didn't care. You know, year round stuff on, because I follow a lot of stuff like art and pixel art and so on and so forth on Twitter. So year around, and I want to murder my neighbors. Not literally, but I want to beat the crap out of them because every time I'm sitting here trying to do a video, I am disturbed. I have ADHD like a motherfucker. And these motherfuckers sit here with a fucking subwoofer in my fucking neighborhood. Just boom, 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 boom. It's getting to be fucking ridiculous. But anyhow, what was I saying? See, I can't focus. I cannot focus with this shit. I don't even know where I was. I don't know where I was. Oh, okay, I remember where I was. I'm on Twitter, right? And year round I see indie games as they're being developed. E3 for me as far well, gaming news for me as far as indie goes, the shit I care about, the shit that's worthwhile, the shit that means something is already being discussed, it's being showcased slowly over time on Twitter. I don't need to have one little thing in the year that gives me what I want. And it's kind of sad because I'm aware of a lot of indie games. They're very retro and whatnot. They're very fun. They look fun. And they're showcased constantly throughout the year, screenshots and more. And it's showcased and it's shown on Twitter. And those same games I expect to show up at an event like this never fucking shows up. When an indie game does show up at something like Jeff Keighley's little presentation, it's fucking garbage. It's fucking artsy fartsy school shit. Fucking it just it none of it looks appealing to me. None of it looks fun to me. None of it grabs me. Now, to be fair, I'm in my 40s. I've been playing games since the 80s, and you're gonna realize that most of what gets to me, most of what appeals to me, is gonna be shit that feels like it's straight out of the 80s and 90s. That's what's going to appeal to me. So, a lot of times I see stuff and I don't need a game to be realistic. I like stylistic. But there's this constant visual style that keeps being used among indie developers, and it isn't the pixel art that's driving me crazy. It's the weird hand drawn, flat colored, low, hardly any detail, hardly any shading kind of thing. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? What the absolute fuck are you doing? Why does this suck to me so bad? And why didn't this show up at Summer Game Fest? Why didn't it show up at Summer Game Fest? I don't know. Oh, here's why. Because they didn't have the money to pay Jeff Keighley. Yes, you have to pay Jeff Keighley to have your shit shown at his little event. I'm not sorry when I say I don't care for Summer Game Fest. I think it's crazy. I think we need an indie showcase. I know there's people that would say, well, that's Day of the Devs. I watch Day of the Devs. And again, it's more the artsy fartsy art school. I just got out of college doing my first indie game bullshit. There's shit that's woke. There's shit that's fucking far left leaning gobbledygook, frickin' political propaganda bullshit. Just boring looking shit. Shit I don't give an absolute fuck about. I'm so fucking tired of it. It's fucking bullshit. I don't fucking care. And then we have the AAA studios that's just fucking dying. So yeah, year round, the shit that I want to see is just popping up on Twitter. Hey, I'm working on a new game. Check out this new game that I'm working on. Here's some screenshot. Here's some footage. Here's some work in progress. Constantly updated. You know what's coming. You see it coming. And that's where my interests are. That's where you get my attention. You get my attention by just randomly dropping shit about games that I love on Twitter. That's what you do. And no, I will not call it X. Fuck X. X is a stupid fucking name. He couldn't have come up with anything better. Musk, why didn't you come up with anything better? Why didn't you just call it Media X or Social X instead of just X? X is stupid. Like, he has SpaceX. Why would you just call it X? You have SpaceX. Why don't you call it Social X? I could do better. He's not that big of a genius. Like everybody praised him for being really smart. I'm like, he's clearly not that fucking smart. Or else he'd know X on its own is stupid. It's not going to pick up. Twitter had brand recognition and everything, and he has just done everything he can to tear it the fuck down. Anyhow, back on topic of games. I watched the Xbox showcase. It was pretty good. Doom. The new Doom game looks fucking awesome, and I want to play it. And I'm hoping it comes to Nintendo's next hardware. Like we got the last two games on the Switch. Is there any chance in hell we'll get this new one on the Switch successor? I don't know. I don't know. But I'm really hoping that Nintendo does better than the rest of the guys. Xbox did the best so far, I think. The Summer Games Fest sucked. Ubisoft sucks. Ubisoft, whatever, they sucked. Um, yeah, so far Xbox, that was it. Sony was okay, but it wasn't that good. I still feel like Xbox did the best. Then again, considering all the IPs they own that they can work on, that's to be expected, right? I can't be the only one who feels like that's to be expected, right? Right? Anyhow, so yeah. After watching all of this, I'm just this is more of a video where I'm complaining. This is more of a video where I'm complaining about I'm complaining about everything going on in the game industry, not really talking about everything that was shown. The industry is going to die. People like Ubisoft, companies like Ubisoft are going to kill the AAA. I don't think gaming is going anywhere. Let's be real. Back when the crash happened in America, back in the day, do you know there was still gaming going on PC? PC gaming didn't crash. It was just console gaming that crashed. It was the Atari that crashed. I feel like if Nintendo never reared their head, we'd still have gaming to this day. I don't think Nintendo, you know, it's not that it would have completely died. It didn't die back then. It's just the U.S. had an issue. It was it was an issue of quality. It was an issue that there was no advancements going on in technology. They just kept releasing garbage over and over again on the Atari 2600 and whatnot. They didn't upgrade the visuals. Nothing changed. They were just trying to make as much money as they could. That's what killed the U.S. gaming market way back when. And then, of course, as we know, Nintendo showed up. But I'm convinced that if Nintendo didn't show up, gaming would have still come back, and then we still would have saw people gain an interest. It would have just been like on the PC side, maybe. I don't know. Sega came in. They probably, if Nintendo never came in and Sega came in, it would have been somebody. But I don't think gaming I don't think people lost interest in games back then. Even I think people were just it was yeah, and it wasn't everywhere. It was just in the U.S. But even now, I think Nintendo realizes that the graphics fidelity thing is a losing. It's a losing everything. It's a losing. It's a loss. It's an L. And you can't keep pushing graphics. They know this. The law of diminishing returns, my friends. The law of diminishing returns. We're reaching that precipice. We're reaching that peak. We're fixing to teeter off because people aren't just focusing on fun games. Instead, it's about my realisms. And I know there's some people that like that. Good for you, you fucking idiots. But gameplay matters the most to me. Having fun. The visuals could be dog shit, by today's standards. It could be dog shit. As long as we don't go back to the Atari 2600. A lot of people love those visuals. I hated the Atari 2600 visuals. They were terrible. Like you couldn't even make out what you were looking at. It's like I tell people, a lot of people there's a lot of people that love the Atari, but it's nostalgia speaking, and I'm like, for me, gaming didn't take off until the NES because the NES was the first time I could look at an image on the screen and have an idea of what it's conveying. I knew what the fuck I was looking at. I knew that a carrot was a carrot, that a man's face was a man's face, that a rabbit was a rabbit. I knew what the fuck I was looking at. But prior to the NES, the Atari, there were times where I'm like, "What is this?" Here's a good example. There was that game, I think it was called Adventure, and nobody could tell if it was a giant duck or a dragon. The graphics were so terrible. I feel like that game could use a remake. Somebody should remake that game with better visuals. It could just be Super Nintendo visuals. Just remake the game, maybe add in a little bit more to explore. Just a little, yeah. And make it look like a dragon because I swear to God, it didn't look like a dragon. It looked like a freaking duck. In fact, they made fun of that on HomestarRunner.com. There's this theme they have for the front page of HomestarRunner.com where it's Atari graphics, and all of a sudden Strong Bad is running away with the trophy or whatever it was that was supposed to be, and he's screaming, "Somebody get this freaking duck away from me!" Because that's, oh God, you know what? Let's show that real quick. Let's show that. I got to homestarrunner.com. There we go. Everybody, la dee da dee da. Everybody, la dee da dee. Oh, you can see my face a little. See, it's dark here. This is why I wasn't using my camera, because you can barely see me because it's too hot. This whole room is just blacked out. But yeah, everybody, la dee da dee da. Everybody, la dee da dee. Let me find the. Is this the main? Yeah, they use Ruffle now. Oh, why does it look like that? It's like within itself. Why are you within yourself? Is there something wrong with Ruffle? Come on, dude. Come on. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's not loading. It's not loading. It's not loading. Why are you not loading? Why are you not loading? Why are you not loading? Oh God, Ruffle's such a pain. There we go. So let's find it. Let's see. Let me see. It's here somewhere. It's old. Wait, was it this one? Please stop asking me. Just work. Damn. Oh my God, it's not working right. Something went wrong with Ruffle. The amazing Ruffle projects helps your cartoons live on. Not every cartoon game works perfectly. I need to get Ruffle installed, don't I? Yeah, there's a Firefox extension. Maybe that's why it's not working too well. Let's get the Firefox extension. Add to Firefox. There we go. Add. Just let me have the extension. Now maybe you'll work properly. Oh, God. Just play. You don't have to ask me for a button. What are you doing? Where is it? Oh, well, screw it. Screw it. I made my point. I don't really see it anywhere. I don't really see it anywhere. I still think it's this one, but it wasn't wanting to load correctly. Yeah, because it keeps doing this. What are you doing? It's not working. It's not working. I thought it would work. It's not working. Anyhow. So yeah, my point being is that as long as we don't go back to those visuals where I can't understand what I'm looking at and I don't know what I'm looking at, I'm fine. The visuals can be kind of blah. They don't have to be they don't have to be realistic and cutting edge, and that's what everybody wants. The problem is a lot of money gets sunk into that and it takes forever to develop. And that alone is killing the industry. So far this whole E3 time, this gaming news time, so far Xbox has been for me the winner, and I'm not a big Xbox fan. I'm more of a Nintendo fan. It remains to be seen if it stays like this. I get the feeling that Nintendo's probably going to do something that just blows everybody the fuck away. And everybody's just going to be like, woo! Yeah, I think they're going to be the winners of all this. They're going to come at the very end. I'm hearing a rumor that it's going to be on the 18th. Anyhow, I don't think I have much more to say on this subject. I miss E3. There was a lot of excitement around E3. I'll never get to go to an E3 now because E3 no longer exists. Uh, anyhow, rate, comment, subscribe. I appreciate it. Trying to get to 1,000. This has been the Goof. Have a good one.